what are the tools, like what can we do to not fall into the comparison trap?
Okay.
And then my second question is, do you think that...
Let's start with the first one.
Let's do that. Just practical suggestions that you have experienced and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay. So a practical suggestion is this, and I've learned this a couple of weeks ago. There's this principle theory. It's called the sunk cost fallacy.
Okay. What is
right?
that?
So the sunk cost fallacy, what it states is the fact that you will get into a point in which the investment that you put in doesn't your initial investment into what you're doing and what you're getting out of it right now doesn't really equate to the effort that you're putting into it. It's not really getting your ROI. You're not really getting out of it what you really put into. So
an example, real quick.
So it's a time to walk away from it. So let's say, for instance, you have a really bad investment, and you put in money. Let's say a house, and you put money on this house and put money on this house, but then there's something else and there's something else, and you are beyond your limits in debt. At what point do you say, I got to sell this house just to get out of the way, right? So we have to be aware of that, because you look at all this stuff and you go after, let's say you transforming your body to make it look like a Kim Kardashian or make it look like someone like that. What is it that you're gaining out of it?
Okay, so are
you gaining attention? Are you gaining the right attention? Right? Are you and how does that intention feels?
So
is when you get to that point and you do all those things, are you really feeling any better about yourself? Because if you're doing it and everybody else is doing it, now everybody start looking the same. So now you're looking just like everybody else. So then at what point do you say, okay, enough is enough? I gotta move. I gotta find another way to make myself feel fulfilled.
And
it's not physical.
And by doing that, you have to really be able to examine what you're getting out of that. So if I go get my boobs and my butt and my extensions and lashes and all this stuff done, and I'm feeling like this isn't filling that void. That's what I would call that, a void. I'm not getting the attention that I wanted. I'm not getting the I don't feel like I look as good as I need to. You could either go forward and do more things to transform your look, or you can say, I need to back out. And so what's that? What's that barometer?
I'll give you an example for men, right? When you're young and you want to go out there and you want to, you want to hunt. And you
hunt what?
You know what I mean. And you want to, and this is one of the things, the more women that you have, the more of a men that you
conquer.
You want to conquer, and you want to have those like stripes in your shoulders. Okay. But there comes a point in which if you're a man and you come across this, you're asking yourself, like, again, it's if you have that within you, is it worth it? Like, after a while, it's worth it.
Some men would say yes.
Some men will say yes, absolutely. But what are you giving up instead? Like, that's the thing. It's like you don't see it. You don't see the ROI right away.
Some men might not think that they're giving up.
Yes, you may not. You may feel that you're not giving up, giving anything up, right? But there comes a point in which the emptiness, it's hard to fill.
So eventually that void will be surfaced. It's going to surface at some point.
I think it manifests. I think it manifests more than men are willing to talk about it.
Okay. I was going to say, that was the next thing I was going to say. I think that happens.
But it's important. I mean, this is a perfect example, because it is important for a man to have those badges and be able to say, yeah, I did that and I did that and that and that and that and that. It's a form of pride.
Mm-hmm. And just for the record, this doesn't apply to all men, just so that we can put
we're
that
generalizing.
out there.
We're generalizing, but this is something that really happens. And I think men think about this because there is a certain emptiness that comes to it after a while.
Applies to women as well.
It's the same thing with money. You know, it's like going after money for money's sake, as good as it may feel to you, and you're doing it because, well, now the comparisons is like, I'm not a millionaire, I'm a billionaire. It's like, why is that? Why is that so important? Right? It's because it's no longer about what you're doing, about the creativity of what you are doing. It's about the assertion of that's what I am.
Right.
You know, I'm not a simp. So we got to understand that. But you're comparing that. You doing that comparison next to this person because you want to be that person or better than. But I always go back to, like, what is the intent? Mm-hmm. What is the intent? Mm-hmm. You know, that's been I mean, like, that's why I like Elon Musk. You know, I like what he does. It's like he's taking his money and he's like, we want to go to Mars. I don't know what's out there. We want to go. I mean, that's intent. You know what I mean? There's a reason behind it, but a lot of people want to compare themselves to Elon Musk. He's a perfect example of our time, of someone that everybody wants to compare themselves to, right? But he has a clear vision of what he wants, a clear intent. Me comparing myself to him, it'll be moronic, right? But I could look at his passion and his intent and figure out how that looks like in my life, and apply it to that path that I defined, because that's his unique path.
So it's taking elements of other people's, in terms of comparisons, taking elements of other people's quest, and applying it to your own life to better yourself, but having that because you want that's your intention. You want to be better because of this. So,
and you have to be aware, to finish answering that question, of that song called Fallacy. As like, this is now I'm just copying to try to get to that status, or try to be that person. And it no longer becomes your life. So is that what you want? Mm-hmm. So you want a mansion because
you want a fancy
someone came
car.
to our house, right, and said, "So is this your forever home?" And I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna be a forever home, but I like my house. You know, it's like, okay, it's not shiny and shit, but
it's ours.
Exactly. And it's like, there's no one that bothers. It's your thing. You know, I had someone that used to make fun of my car all the time, right? Like, they called it the tracker and all that stuff, and I was like, I don't care. It's paid off. You know. But it's weird because as a person that is like an immigrant or a Dominican or somebody like that it's almost like in our DNA, like we have to floss. And, you know, it's like, this gets me to where I need to get to.
Yeah.
You know, but but again, it's like we have to look at ourselves and see exactly what is it that we want, you know, and our comparison issues is primarily because we don't want to be looked at as inferior than. We have that fear of being the outsider. So, I mean, I hope that answers your question. You gotta
it does.
You gotta be aware of the song called when it's like, okay, if I'm modeling the aspects of this person, there's a point in which I gotta move forward, and then you also have to be able to understand intent within yourself.